To another exciting edition of your favorite program, Women's Roundtable on EBS TV.
On EBS TV, where we talk about real issues, real happenings, and real stories. I'm your host, Peace Agadiladia, and of course, I'm here with the lady in red again today. Uju, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very well. You know, growing up, especially even while we hear from our parents and older ones, we hear this every time that marriage is all about making sacrifices. But my question now is, at what point should a woman say, oh, I know how to make sacrifice for my kids, I have to make sacrifice for my husband, but I have to put myself first. Because of this viral video, I know you may have seen the video of a lady that was saying that her husband prefer food made from firewood, and she was like, she doesn't use gas, she uses firewood. And everybody was like, but you know that it's not really good for women, it's not good for their health. Yeah. And there was also another video again that which also circulated online about a lady that was about to put to bed, and she actually stayed, she waited that long to cook clean before going to the clinic. And imagine if something had happened to her or her unborn child. Yeah. Why women are making sacrifices? When should there be a stop? That is why we have with us our very gorgeous entrepreneur, a mother, and should I call her a woman advocate? Because right there you were actually talking to us about a lot of issues. She is Harbour Blessing. Good to have you join us.
Thank you, Peace.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Alright, so we're looking at the topic redefining sacrifices in marriages. I know you don't want to miss out on these. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Welcome to another exciting edition of your favorite program, Women's Roundtable on EBS TV.
Personally, as a mother, as a lady, and as a female advocate, I mean, I add to it.
Okay. When, first and foremost, marriage is a partnership thing.
Okay.
It's not for one individual to sacrifice it all for the other partner.
Okay.
So when you say sacrifice, it has to go two ways.
Okay.
So for me, sacrifice in marriage is you putting your partner sometimes first,
okay,
in taking decisions, you know, in so many things, but it should not be at the detriment of your own physical, emotional health.
Wow. So it has to be between the man and the woman, not just like a woman thing.
Exactly.
Or a man thing.
Exactly, because in everything you should first of all choose yourself first.
Okay.
But in marriage you must learn to compromise for your partner. But that does not mean that you should forget about yourself. For me, that's what partnership means.
Okay. So you know, most times we say marriage is between two people that love themselves.
Yes.
So when you're making this sacrifice, you're making it in the name of love. That's why sometimes you consider your partner before yourself, right?
Exactly.
So when does this love turns to self-neglect? When do you start seeing it as self-neglect, no longer love?
Beautiful question. You see, at the point where it seems as though you are the only person putting in all the effort, so be it, in the marriage, that is when you start noticing self-neglect. For instance, okay, so for instance, you are the one taking care of things, ensuring that your partner is okay, and your partner is not reciprocating the same energy. Before you know it, you start tearing up, you start wearing out. So at that point, you should say no. You should realize yourself first. See, it goes both ways, not just the women, including the men. It's just that most cases is the women that are usually exactly. So at that point where you notice that your partner is not reciprocating in the same effort or with the same energy in which you are putting in, you should be able to be resentful. You should be able to call yourself to order or speak to your partner if there will be some adjustment or some changes. But in the cases where there are none, I'm sorry, so marriage should never be a one-sided thing.
Do you think some of the partner, like the men, take advantage of this sacrifice and this love the women give out?
Of course, they do all the time. All the time. Most of the time. They do. They always take advantage of it. So that's why we women, we should know where to stop, where the limit gets to. In fact, when you understand this simple principle, you will not be used. And most times we complain of being used in marriage. We actually provided ourselves to be used. So men, of course, they take advantage of us.
All right. Okay. Now, what actually, how do we actually get to this stage? Is it the societal pressure, societal demand that women have to sacrifice a whole lot?
Yes. Traditionally, the traditional way of, getting married, I mean, the ones that our parents had, our grandparents had, we grew up seeing that our mothers left everything about them. In fact, a lot of dreams died. Like in that era, you will not be here doing this job.
You will end up in the kitchen.
Yes. So women then were structured or built in a way that their entire existence is to just sacrifice for people. Their husband, their children, and even their family members, their siblings, their parents, because they are always there trying to get things done. So we grew up seeing that in society. And of course, the African community, as a lady, you are of age, you are not married, or you are even married, and you don't want to leave that marriage because you don't want that stigma that she could not keep her home. So that's why when men mess up, they misbehave. You see us women, most of us, we are still in need, looking 20 years older than their age, drained, just because they have avoided to be stigmatized.
Okay. So I just want us to move into the narrative I actually started with. Okay. Like the case of that lady, because I just can't fathom it. I keep when the picture comes to my face, and I was like, what is this? Because she was due, and she stayed more than an hour cooking and cleaning.
Wow.
Like, so what do you have to say in regards to that kind of situation? Why do women still do this in this age?
First of all, that's foolishness.
No, you don't think it's love?
What kind of dirty love is that? At the risk of your life. And that thing she was doing is also a risk to our unborn child.
Unborn child, exactly.
Anything can just cause some kind of contractions that will lead to one disaster or another. So how can you be cooking when it's not even healthy for you? Cleaning the house, and when you're back going to the hospital to put to bed. Where is the most bad? And I think sometimes we women we overdo. I didn't come here today to talk about the men are not doing this or men are the cause. I think I need to talk to us ladies. If she doesn't get those things done with the word end, can she not ask someone to get food for them to
Exactly.
eat? So why put yourself through, or is that what defines her as a strong woman or an Hebrew woman? So for me that was being foolish, because she can give birth to that child and that child will have some complicated issues as a result of her foolishness. And if her husband was at home while she was doing all that, that man should be referred to as an animal.
Please don't go there.
But there's something else. When some women pick themselves or consider their emotions or their feelings first, they are perceived as selfish people in society. Because there are some women that would say, okay, I must work even if it will affect my children or my family.
Yes.
Most people see them as selfish people. So why is it a problem for women to pick themselves?
Okay, you see, it's not about being selfish. Like personally, I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Marriage will not be able to take that away from me. But I should be able to balance my life in a way that I have that time for my husband and my children. But you see that work, I need that work because I want to get myself some expensive things. I don't have to depend on my husband to be able to do that. So now it's only the society I mean that still thinks that women are selfish because they've decided to take care of themselves. And for me, it's not a bad thing. In fact, every woman should do that. If I should take it as their first priority, to take care of themselves in marriage first before any other person. Because see, if anything happens to them when they pass on, it doesn't take 2 years. They have a replacement already. So why do all of that sacrifice and for nothing? So for me, it's not being selfish. In fact, it should be your first priority. You should and you must put yourself first in marriage before your partner.
Okay, so how can couples actually redefine sacrifice to include self-care, self-priority, and even your well-being, whether emotionally, mentally?
The first thing, or rather the main thing to do, is communication. Because sometimes these things, they actually build gradually. It doesn't just start overnight. You as the wife, you see the need to, let me take care of this man, you know, he deserves, because I love him, you want to take care of him, you almost want to even date him
To be a good wife.
to be a good wife. And while you are doing this, you must subconsciously just let go and allow you stress yourself to death without even thinking of, you know, supporting you with anything. So when you got smart and intelligent men, they always know and realize that, oh, this woman, she works herself out daily. Let me support, let me assist her. But if you have a husband who will not think or who will not even think of supporting you, you communicate with him. You try to at least let there be chores done. 60, 40, I don't want to now say 50-50 before they chew me up. So 60-40, sir, only please, these are the things you should assist me to do in the house. You see the same men that will not lift a spoon from the floor in Nigeria. When they travel out of Nigeria, they will wear pampers, they will feed babies, they will back babies because the society is already designed like that. You won't do it. Fine, you come back to your country because you can't pay your bills because your wife has to work. You have to work. I believe you've seen videos where most of them, they exchange their children in the car park. This one is rushing to work, the other one is rushing home. So but these same men back home here, they don't want to do anything. So you see, why does that work there? Because the partners, they communicate, they know what their priorities are and what they want. So here you should be able to communicate with your partner. So if your partner is that type, I will say this life. If your partner is that type that doesn't care, that doesn't want to even listen to you, my darling, don't kill yourself. Leave the job. Let the house be dirty. let your visitors come and see that the whole place is messed up. But you need that rest and you need to take care of yourself.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you now, just in 30 seconds, because you know, the society, they're the one that's actually causing this whole stuff. When you say leaving the house dirty and a visitor walk in, the first impression will be this wife is lazy.
I'm telling you, nobody's talking about
that. Look, they're going to give to that woman.
Very
so
true.
how can the society actually help couples to redefine sacrifice to ensure that they put their health first among other things?
Okay, you see, for me now, I have grown and I have a very thick skin to such criticism. Thank God, that's the point where I am now.
Okay.
People will always talk, even when they come to your house and it is clean. Because when you say, how can the society help? My dear, awareness like this, discussions like this, will actually help. Thousands or hundreds of people will watch this video. Some will be against and others will be for. You know, I mean, including men. So when they hear these things, they subconsciously they will think about it. Oh, my wife. Oh, maybe a man is right now in one bar, exhausting himself out, like enjoying with his friends and all of that, while the wife is busy taking care of 4 children alone. Some of them back, the kids at their back, carry others in their hand and still put things on their head, hawking water. So such a man might just be listening to this program and his conscience might just pick him up and he will run down home to our sister, start turning a new leaf. So these are one of the ways where we can help the society. So keep talking, you know, that's for, I mean, the media. But you see, for the immediate family and friends that will just barging into your house, please care less about what they say. Prioritize your health first. If your bones are weak and you need to rest, go and rest, even if the entire waste in the street is in your living room. Go and sleep. So if the man walks in and he meets it like that, if he asks, where is this Azeti? I'm tired, and he hears at you, oh God, you can also do it now. Is there a place it is written in the constitution that the women must be the one to claim? So that's why you see, I'm sorry, let me add this, that's why you see husbands, fathers, when we leave our children with them, for just 2 hours, they're almost running mad. They're already calling, complaining. And this is what the wives do every day. And yet still take care of the house, take care of them. And even the bedmatics aspect of it, these men, they still come back with all the stress during the day. They will still tap you in the night.
Thank you so much.
So traditional men are fighting you, right?
I know.
So good to have you join us. Time don't permit us. So true. In one sentence, what's the final word to viewers out there?
Okay, so mine would be prioritize yourself as a woman, as an individual. Your first priority is yourself.
Alright, thank you so much. And I would say have a thick skin.
Alright,
so good to have you join us again. It was really a beautiful time with you. So we'll come your way next week. It's Women Roundtable. Goodbye.
Welcome to another exciting edition of your favorite program, Women's Roundtable on EBS TV.